I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Here's what's going on. Well, an Amazon driver has fallen 13 feet into an Apple Valley septic tank. Spotify's the latest tech name to cut jobs. And Elon Musk takes the stand. As always, I'm here with my co-host and general know-it-all current events guy, Joe. Hey, Joe. Today I had to deal with AAA. Do you have good experiences with AAA?
No, the last experience I had with AAA made me cancel AAA. That's how good of an experience it was.
Well, what's the alternative though? There's nothing else to do. Don't they have the monopoly there?
No, literally every insurance company offers roadside assistance now.
Oh,
so you have to pay for it, but it's so much more affordable. I have Geico for my auto insurance. I actually use them for everything because they're okay. I mean,
I have that too. I just found out they have roadside there. Is it any good?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's way cheaper. It's like $35 to $40 a year, as opposed to however much and that's for both of my drivers, both Linda and I, for two drivers.
That's wild, man.
Right? It's crazy less expensive. And honestly, they were better. I had to call them to get a jump to take my wife's old car so we could jump it and get it back to Toyota to sell it. And they were wonderful. I had no problem with it. At AAA though, oh man. They made an appointment, they missed the appointment, they wouldn't accommodate me. They just didn't care. They literally just did not care at all. And so I was talking to this rep. I'm like, look, I'm trying to be accommodating. I'm trying to be cool here, but you guys screwed up. And you guys need to get someone here to jump my car like you promised you were going to do 3 hours ago. And they wouldn't do it. So I told the rep, I was like, look, you just lost yourself a customer. I immediately called and canceled my service.
Well, I might have to look into that today because the sweetie was heading on into work. And, I live out here on the farmland and she works in the city. And there are 3 routes to take in the morning time. Usually most of the time there's the northerly way, which is 118. There's the 101. Then there's PCH. So Sweetie's getting to work and she takes that whole Lost Hills road that goes over Las Virgenes Canyon. And it's over there by Pepperdine. And she gives me a call on her way. She says, my battery light's on. And I go, your battery, that's not good. Well, maybe it's just time to get a new battery, your car's running. So, while your car's running, the alternator is going to power everything, right?
Well,
right.
What I was going to say is if the alternator craps out, your battery takes all of the
Don't get ahead of me now.
Okay, sorry.
Don't get ahead of me now. So
it's happened to me. It's happened to me a couple times.
So then I was like, all right, well, if you're still driving, just get, if anything else happens, you let me know. Okay. So then she sends me a picture and the picture is her dashboard. And she calls me and she goes, there is a key coming out of waves. And I go, a key coming out of waves? Hold on. Let me Google it. Oh, that's your temperature gauge.
Out of waves? Oh, that was the symbol. That's what the symbol looked like. I got it.
The temperature gauge. That's a thermometer, not a key. And your car's too hot. Something.
She's funny.
Then she says, now all of my lights are blinking. I go, well, you better pull over.
Mm-hmm.
She says, no, I think I can make it.
All right. Where did her car crap out?
You know that sign that says like 20 miles of scenic view, Malibu, right there. Right when you get to the toppest point of that hill, you're going to go down into the oceanside part of it. Right there, right when car couldn't make it over that hill. It just crapped out right there.
That's terrible.
Yes. So after AAA comes out and they says, it's your alternator. Well, we'll get a guy out here, and then you get the text message saying the guy will be out here at 10:11. So at 10:11, the guy calls us and says, I'm going to be there in 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, man, I thought you're going to be here at 10:11. Now they're going to add another 30 minutes to the thing. So it's not it's not a bad enough experience for me to like rage quit like you, but it really did inconvenience me this morning trying to get AAA to arrive on time and fix
Honestly,
the problem.
there's something about rage quitting that just like really, really hits my feels, though.
It's fun. It's so much fun. And it's so
not.
easy. It's easy to do and it's so rewarding. But then later on, you look back and go, oh, man.
You know what? I have actually never raged quit anything and then regretted it later. I have never, ever, ever rage quit and just been like, oh man, you know what? I really wish I had that product still. You know why? Because there's always a substitute. There's always going to be something there that's going to be just as good or better.
Yeah, true that. At least one.
Yeah, and I am a customer service professional, being a community and promotions manager, and there is just something about I refuse to work with companies that have bad customer service. I just refuse to do it because it's your one job, man. You're on the phone talking to people. It's your one job to help people. And all you want to do is try to nickel and dime people for a couple bucks here, a couple bucks. You know what? You don't get any of my money now. That's what I'm going to do. Like there's other services out there. I will give someone more deserving my money. You don't get it.
Okay. I agree with you on that one there. Might have to do that now that I know that, Geico has a road sign. Everybody has a road sign. It's good to know.
Do it. Everybody has
Most
one.
people don't know
you don't need to use AAA. You don't need to use AAA. Talk to your insurance company. They have roadside assistance. They actually have just get the Geico app. I just did it all through the app too. Does AAA have an app like that? No.
Stupid. All right. Well, we're all safe and sound now, so let's get into the news today. A routine delivery took a frightening turn for an Amazon driver after he fell 13 feet into a septic tank on the job. Listen.
We'll talk about a dirty job. An Amazon driver ends up in a family's septic tank when the ground gives out during a delivery in the high desert. The video from Apple Valley has gone viral.
Shaking my head, Juan. Know all about those. The driver even says once he got out, he went home and showered and continued his shift. Boy, what a guy. KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen joins us in the studio with the story and the video that the driver shot himself right when he was stuck in that smelly pit.
I mean, talk about a dedicated man to his job there, loves his customers, former Marine. And so when he got caught in this very scary situation, that Marine training really kicked into high gear for him. This was really the last thing he expected on his route, but he did the best he could and eventually got out. Take a look.
And I really do not want to die in somebody's, whatever you call these things.
A routine delivery took a frightening turn for Amazon driver Charles McAngelo. He loaded up his packages in a delivery truck like this one at the Amazon Victorville warehouse, then drove to Apple Valley to deliver a package at a house.
I noticed an old traffic cone sitting in the middle of the yard, and next to it was about a 3-foot size hole, like perfectly round hole. And I was just like, wow, that's a really big hole to just be sitting there open.
McAngelo says he went around the hole, dropped the package off at the door, and began walking back to his truck.
And as I passed the hole, the ground beneath my feet immediately crumbled and collapsed, and I fell into the hole.
13 feet into a septic tank of raw sewage he dropped, trapping him underground for 40 minutes.
I wasn't like, oh, I'm in a hole, let me make a TikTok, My mindset was like, if something bad happens, I kind of want to have this recorded.
He took out his phone and did just that.
I tried using these roots around me to get out, and it just pulled more dirt on top of me.
He called his work's dispatch because he says they would know his exact location to send help. But work weighed heavy on his mind.
I still got like 100 stops left, but you never know. Anyway, fire department's on their way.
Firefighters then put this yellow tape around the giant sinkhole he fell into. And McAngelo says he went back home to take a shower and surprisingly continued his route, something he says his bosses didn't tell him to do.
20 years in the Marine Corps, we're just conditioned to, finish the mission. If you can get up and keep moving and you're still breathing, you finish the mission.
The next day, he went to the doctor for some aches and pains. He says he has to undergo weekly blood tests to make sure he wasn't exposed to anything. And while he's looking forward to returning to work, he says he'll be doing deliveries a bit differently.
Stay off the grass, the dirt, and the gravel, yes.
And again,
Happy ending there. We reached out to Amazon. In a statement, a spokesperson told us Amazon is relieved till the driver is all right and grateful to local emergency teams for their quick response.
I don't know about you, Joe, but if I fell in a septic tank hole, I'd take the rest of the day off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going back to work. It would probably take me 12 hours to scrub all of my skin off to get all that gross whatever they're called.
This guy compares Amazon. This guy compares Amazon work to being a Marine and finishing.
No.
Isn't that crazy, man?
I'm glad you had some Marine training, but man, that was the funniest part. He's just like, oh well, I was sitting in that hole. Whatever these things are called, man, I just busted out laughing. I'm like, you just fell in this thing, you don't even know what it's called. It's a septic tank, man. No, man,
isn't it better that he didn't know that he was in a giant vat of poop?
No, he knew he was in a. He just didn't know what the giant vat of poop was called, and I'm sure he didn't want to curse on air and say, like a shit tank or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that I would not go back to work. More power to you, man. You got a great work ethic. I would probably still be scrubbing myself clean if I fell into a septic tank.
Man, I go to the ER, dude. I'm on workman's comp for the time being.
Well, I hope this dude doesn't get hepatitis. I mean, he was like touching roots and stuff. Come on, man. I wouldn't touch anything down there. Ugh. No, thanks. No, thanks.
Watch out for sinkholes, whether or not you're an Amazon person.
But even, I mean, come on, couldn't someone at Amazon, couldn't his manager be like, yo, man, you just fell in a tank of shit. How about we just finish your deliveries for you today?
Yeah.
Why don't you take the day off? Go take a shower.
Lord.
Something, man, something. Come on, Amazon. You got to step up and step in.
Step up and step in before you step in it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today's show is brought to you by
Whoop Tracks. Unleash the love. Do a good deed for dogs. Walking with the free Whoop Tracks app helps you earn for your favorite animal charity. Download the Whoop Tracks app. Start walking your best friend and unleash the love for all dogs.
All right. More news. Spotify is the latest tech name to cut jobs as it axes 6% of its entire workforce.
There's been a lot of tech companies recently reporting that they are shedding staff, and Spotify is the latest. Bloomberg sources citing unnamed people, suggesting that Spotify could well see some large numbers of staff going at the company. What happens when a business reports that it's shedding staff? Quite often you see the stock rising. And if you look at what's been happening with Spotify stock recently, it's been rising ahead of this news. And in fact, it's up against the red line, which is the 200-day moving average, closing out Friday's session at 97.94. Whilst we don't know how many jobs are going, this could well be positive news for the stock. And we could well see it end up trading past the highs that we saw back in October last year as a result of this. Now, last week, Alphabet was in the news. It was reported on Reuters that it would be cutting jobs. The press agency said on Friday the Google parent company, Alphabet, plans to eliminate around 12,000, about 6% of its workforce. And we saw Microsoft come out with recent news as well. Same sort of thing, that we've got this stock lifting off the recent lows. Microsoft said on January the 18th, it would cut around about 10,000 jobs, or about 5% of its staff. On the 5th of January, Amazon announced 18,000 job cuts. And Meta Platforms, another one, cutting staff, said it would eliminate around about 11,000 jobs. Technology firms based in the US announced 97,000 job cuts in 2022, according to data from Challenger Gray & Christmas, which is the most that we've seen in terms of job shedding since 2002. And according to provisional figures from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the tech sector still employed around about 4.4 million people in December 2022, nearly 500,000 more than in February 2020, month before COVID-19 hit America. So there are still large numbers of people in the sector, but looks like those numbers could well be reduced further by this recent news from Spotify.
Yeah, and Spotify is my least favorite one for many reasons. But it's funny that they talk about how the stock does better when they cut jobs, and I've heard that in Spotify they're cutting the jobs of the original programming department, which is something that I don't think anybody pays any attention to in the platform. So, but they are jobs that guys and girls like you and me, Joe, have. So it's a little bittersweet for me to hear that everybody's losing their gig. But hey, the stock's going up.
You've never tried Amazon Music. You said Spotify was your least favorite. You've never tried Amazon Music, have you?
Oh, really? What's wrong with that one?
Oh man. Okay,
I mean, anything Amazon does is a wicked stepchild of anything, so they don't do it.
I mean, I don't think they do a great job at some stuff. They do a fantastic job of online shopping, that's for sure. But as far as these other things, not so much. I've used Apple Music, I've used Amazon Music, and I've used Spotify. And I'm sorry, man, but Spotify is the most user friendly. Amazon Music.
I didn't say anything about user friendly. I agree with you on that. I think that they're good, the most user friendly. But
as far as like the royalties paid out and stuff, they're all the same. I mean, the only differentiating factor on any of these music streaming platforms now is original content and podcasts. So you said Spotify was ditching 6% of its original programming force?
Yeah, so that would be like the people that curate the playlists and the specific original content. It's all the original content of Spotify that they're axing. And that's what alarms me because, as you know or may not know, I work for the glorious Tune In, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of original programming, and they have no problems at all. There's no hinting of anybody losing their gigs, but you never know.
Well, but no one ever hints at that. No one, because they don't want customers to leave.
Yeah.
Whenever a company says, "Hey, we're going to do mass layoffs and those are going to come in a month," they lose a bunch of their customer base. And so then it makes it less financially viable for them to keep people on. So my thing is that I think we're just seeing a correction just across the board with all companies. Everybody staffed up way too much during the coronavirus. Like all these tech companies, Meta, Google, freaking Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, all the streaming services, both television and music, everybody staffed up way too much.
Well, that's the excuse that they're saying is we overhired, but I don't think...
No, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
Well, they can use that to cut more than they need.
Oh, sure. And everybody always is going to do that. This is just business 101, right? But I think that a lot of these companies did not have great foresight, and they all thought that this was just going to usher in a whole new era of business, and no one was ever going to go to brick and mortar stores again. Not understanding human nature very well. When people were cooped up for a long time, the only thing people want to do now is go out. They all want to go out and just get back to like, quote unquote, a normal life. So for all these tech companies they had to ramp up like they did just to hit all of that increased traffic that all of their websites and platforms were hitting. But come on, you guys are supposed to be smart business people. Why did you hire 100,000 people? No, did you not realize that in 2 years you were just going to have to lay off all these people because things were just going to go back to kind of like more or less where we were before?
Yeah, but isn't that normal?
Shut everything down?
Isn't that normal in big business though, where they don't think about the future at all? They just think about
it's the short-sightedness of the stock market. Everyone's just looking for that like
This is like 100% of that. This smells like that without a doubt. Like it's COVID. We can expand. We have enough and all this. And now they're like, oh, shrink. Like there's no long-term plan with a lot of these companies,
Yeah, but it's looking short term. They all made a ton of money. They're just not giving it back. They don't want to give it back to all of these other people. So now they're scaling down again so they can do stock buybacks and they can give all their shareholders more money, because that's the important thing. Not us customers, not us small schmoes, just the stockholders. That's the only thing that matters, right? So,
well, I, for one, want to see Spotify crash and burn because they own Anchor, and
it's not going to. They have Joe Rogan. There's no way.
Not like Anchor.
I'm sorry. What's wrong with Anchor? There's nothing wrong with Anchor. You don't like Anchor because you screwed up and put some copyrighted music up there 2 or 3 years ago.
My fault. But as we went back to
it's not your fault. You didn't let me finish the story. You screwed up, but then you tried to make things right, and now Spotify is like, no. And you screwed up once, and we're never going to let you have any of your metrics again. And we're not going to let you put
rage
stuff up,
quitting. Aren't you a proponent of the rage quit? I rage quit that stupid company.
Sure, you can rage quit, but when I start my other podcasts and stuff, and they're going to be on Anchor, you're not going to be able to listen. That's going to be sad for me, man.
Well, I can listen on the other platforms. That's fine. I'm a Googler anyway.
That's true. So we'll figure it out. My concern is the fact that this is just going to make finding work for us, kind of fringe techie people that much harder. Because now there's like
every Spotify,
there's 500,000 people in there.
Well, yeah,
job market now.
For every Spotify, there's 50 smaller, 500 smaller companies that are doing similar when it comes to original content.
Well, sure, but none of those people are hiring too. Everybody's laying off and everyone's contracting. So it's like me as a contractor who's looking for work, this is going to make things much, much more difficult.
Yeah, you got that right. Sad to say it, but that's why we're doing our own thing. Woohoo! That way we get to keep all the money.
Yeah, you would. Oh, man. Oh, the delusional world you live in. It's so nice to visit every now and then.
All right. More news. There are questions surrounding a multi-billion-dollar deal involving Tesla stock. Listen.
Elon Musk took the witness stand yesterday in a class action lawsuit in California, where shareholders say Musk misled them with a 2018 tweet when he said he had, quote, secured funding to take Tesla private at a premium of $420 a share. Well, that tweet initially sent Tesla stock soaring, but when a deal didn't happen, shares quickly plummeted. Musk telling jurors, quote, the tweets are truthful, just simply short, referring to character limitations on Twitter. Additionally, Musk sold $3.6 billion worth of Tesla stock last month, just weeks before the electric car maker revealed that it delivered fewer vehicles than expected last fall, sending the stock tumbling. Now, Tesla shareholders have lashed out at Musk for selling billions in Tesla stock to finance his buyout of Twitter, helping to push down 65% last year, that stock, and stripping Musk of bragging rights as the world's richest person. Legal experts say what Musk knew and when is crucial to whether the billionaire CEO broke any regulatory laws, and they say the timing of the stock sale is suspicious enough to warrant an insider trading probe by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC, by the way, has not yet responded to our request for comment.
Do it. Right. Take him down. Take him down. Fine him billions of dollars, because this is absolutely egregious and should not be allowed.
But Joe, I hate covering these kinds of stories, especially with Elon, but I'm fascinated by it and I can't stop. But, there is not going to be, who the loser is in all of this, right? Who is the loser? Not Elon. Who's the loser in this?
The loser is always the consumer, Barry.
It's Joe Funkhauser. That's who it is. It's Joe Funkhauser.
There's a Joe Funkhauser?
It's you and I.
Oh, we're combined into one person now.
Tis we, the common man. That's the loser. The Joe Funkhausers of the world.
Can this person have your hair and not my hair?
Whatever. It just sounds better than Joe the plumber.
Oh, that's true. Okay, Joe Funkhauser. No, yeah, you're right. No, it's always the consumer that gets screwed.
Yeah, so they're spending thousands and millions of dollars there litigating this stuff, but pockets have been lined. They're gonna judge Elon and drive home in their Teslas. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
No, you can't do. Anyway, no, this is why we have the Security and Exchange Commission in place. So people, basically what he is doing is he's pumping and dumping. He's pumping up the stock so a bunch of people buy it, and then he's dumping it at a high price, making a bunch of money, and then screwing the rest of his stockholders. He's going to pay for this. There is not any doubt in my mind that he is going to get a judgment against him. I am just hoping that the judgment actually hurts. Like, hey, you screwed up so bad you got to sell Tesla. You can no longer be associated with Tesla. You screwed up.
Oh, that would be fun.
Well, that's what would happen if he gets fined $1 billion for security and exchange fraud. And that's what this is. This is fraud. You can't just throw up in a public forum somewhere. Oh, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this. No, there are rules in place to prevent exactly what he did. Pump and dump. So I hope that they fine him $1 billion. I hope that fine causes the Tesla stockholders to riot and force him out. I am just waiting. I want to see. This is not a good person. And we need to stop letting all these rich people just take advantage, because it's not cool.
Yeah, I'm for that. It's sell it.
I'm tired of paying for all these rich people's yachts and planes and stuff. Screw that. They should be buying all of us planes and boats and cars and wardrobes. And I could really go for a new set of pots and pans.
I need some shoes, man.
Oh yeah, new shoes would be great too. But no, they should be paying for us. They should be paying for us, not the other way around. It has been proven year after year, time and time again, that they do not create jobs. These billionaires do not create jobs. So why are we continuing to give them all these tax breaks? I hate it. I just hate it so much.
Because we like losing. We are the losers. It's Joe Funkhauser. And we will never fight about it.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, I'm going to fight. I am going to fight. I'm fighting. I'm going to fight.
All right. Well, good luck. And we'll be back tomorrow with more fighting. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.